So first is to shape your future. Second is to energize and engage your team. And finally, to build people, build teams, and build relationships.
Welcome to the Growth Mindset Podcast with me, Sam Harris, your host. I invite fascinating humans from all walks of life to share their wisdom and unpack their mindsets and formulas for growth.
There's a principle that I teach and that's been around in psychology forever that's called the Pygmalion Effect. Pygmalion Effect says that our thoughts, our beliefs, and our expectations, whether of others or ourselves, are magnetic. That as we think about somebody, not only do we see more of that, but here's what's fascinating. We actually move, especially depending upon the level of our influence on other people, what they think of us, we're actually moving them in the direction of those thoughts, beliefs, and expectations. And a researcher from Harvard by the name of Robert Rosenthal asked the question, is the Pygmalion Effect real? Or is it just convenient? Just some explanation and it's really not real. So what he did was he went into 25 elementary schools in the United States. So he went to 25 different schools and went into the first grade classrooms, so 6-year-olds. And he told the teachers, and only the teachers, that he had developed a test, an examination for first graders, which would tell the teachers which of the students in their class were what he called spurters. Now, a spurter was a child with incredible potential, but who had not used it yet, had not accessed it. So they had all this unused potential. And so, and this test would identify for the teachers which of those kids were spurters. So he administered the test to 500 different children, 25 different schools, rural schools, urban schools, gathered up the tests, and a week later he came back and he told the teachers the results. He said, Sam's a spurter, Mary's a spurter, Jim's a spurter. Told the teachers which of the kids had scored as spurters. But guess what? It was a big fake. He had never graded anything. What he had done was he had given the kids a very basic first grade intelligence test, gathered all the papers, never looked at them, and burned them. So completely at random, he had told the teachers that these particular kids were the spurters. Well, guess what happened? In over 97% of the children that were randomly picked as spurters, guess what happened? They spurted. They rose to the top of the class, and they stayed there academically through their academic career. This is a long-term study. It was a brilliant study. It proved that our thoughts, beliefs, and expectations are magnetic, because who changed? The teachers. Yeah. The teachers didn't look at Sam as Sam anymore. They saw Sam the spurter, and they taught them differently. And Sam, it was a brilliant study, but guess what? He got sued for it. And guess who sued him?
I can imagine the teachers,
the parents of the other kids.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because the teachers taught those kids as if they weren't spurters. And so, when you understand that Pygmalion Effect, what it says is that whether you're a leader in a small business working with people, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a parent, whether you're a friend, that your thoughts, beliefs, and expectations of others, and definitely of yourself, because as much as you're a Pygmalion to others, you're a Pygmalion to yourself.
Yeah, wow, that was powerful. I definitely think of it's always, sometimes I feel like, because I'm like the CEO of a company, that I need to sort of make sure that people know what they're doing wrong. And like when things are like working and ticking over, like you don't sort of focus on that much, but you're like, wait, this is the amazing strength that you bring. This is why you're such a good, important component of the companies, or all your amazing qualities. Is like celebrating those things and sort of helping them do more of the things, which is why they're here anyway, and not focusing on the things that like I'd never expected them to be good at, is like obviously where I should be doing more of. And I'm certainly trying. And I think that actually has been something I've done a lot more of over the past month, which has caused a bit of a radical shift of being like, wait, this person's amazing at running meetings, and like they should be running more meetings. They freaking love doing that. It's like they're calling. Great. And now we have such better meetings and stuff, rather than them being in the corner and be like, you're being a shit person in this meeting because you're not helping people. It's like, bloody run the thing. And yeah, it's so much better. So
that kind of leads right into it kind of leads into going toward talking about the 3 controllables that are the foundation of breakthrough leadership, because it really leads right into the first one. And that first one is called shape your future. And that's about vision. All breakthroughs start with vision. You got to see it before you can be it. And the foundational principle at the core of shaping your future is what you focus on is what you create. What you focus on is what you create. It's not what you get. It's what you create. And I'll give you a fun little example. I have a 4-year-old grandson. His name is Augie. And Augie is the coolest guy ever. He's got this big grin all the time. And he's also Mario Andretti on his little tricycle. He's like 1,000,000 miles an hour, pedals going really fast. Just turned 4 years old. Well, he's so good on that tricycle that very soon he's going to get a 2-wheeler bike, a real bike. And the big day will come. And anybody who's had children, you had this day if they got a bike. Mom and dad will be out there. They're going to be holding on to that back fender. They're going to get him up on that bike. He's going to put his hands on the handlebars. He's going to put his feet on the pedals. He's going to put his tongue out for balance. And he's going to start riding. And they're going to be pushing him. And he's wobbling and he's shaking. But he's doing it. And mom and dad let him go. And he's riding down the sidewalk. Way to go, Augie. Unfortunately, right in front of him on the sidewalk is a great big rock. What does Augie look at? The rock. What happens next? Wham! He hits that rock like it's magnetic. He falls over. He scrapes his elbow. He walks by his dad like he's cool. He goes up to mom and goes, "I'm gonna die, Mom." Okay, so now it's 2 weeks later. Same little boy, same bike, no tongue out for balance anymore. He doesn't need it. He's got bike riding down. Whipping down the same sidewalk. Boppity, 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 bop. Bigger rock. What happens now? He goes around it. But what goes around it first? Not the bike. What goes around it first is his vision. What Augie has learned is that what you focus on is what you create, and what you resist persists. But what we do have a choice is, I see the rock, we'll find our way around it. And in life, we're going to run into some rocks. They're going to be there. One is called COVID. It's a rock. What are we going to do? How are we going to adjust our way to make our way beyond it? Sometimes we make a mistake. We have to look at that mistake. There's the rock, and create a new direction. So the foundation of shaping your future is to embrace this new idea that what you focus on is what you create. And when you do that, you start to focus. If you feel yourself moving towards the rock, you catch yourself. And we're not going to be perfect, but the more you practice it, the more automatic it will become when the obstacles, the barriers, the potential fears come up, that you have more choice and you can move around it. So the first controllable of the 3 controllables that at the foundation of breakthrough leadership is to shape your future, that what you focus on is what you create.
Yeah, it's really powerful. And I certainly found some of the things.
Want to know about the second one? Should we talk about the second one?
I'd like a bit of discussion, and then, I feel like there's some stuff from before that leads into this as well. So I was thinking, I had some similar issues skiing when I was trying to do tricks and things, and I found that if I could lead with my head, when I was trying to do 360s, I was just really failing because I was kind of still hesitant about whether I'd manage it. So I was still looking in the same way, and so my head was just stopping my body from turning. But I was like, if I just move my head 360, the rest of my body just follows and stuff. And it was just really interesting that basically whatever tricks I want to do, I just need to move my head around to get it. The rest of me would just follow it. It was really funny. And
what a beautiful parallel. And as you know, in sports or any sports, real top champions, what do they do before a big trick, or what do they do before a big event? They visualize. The second one is to energize and engage your team. Now, obviously, before you can energize and engage the people around you, you need to energize and engage yourself. And why is energy so important? Why is it so important to your career? Why is it so important to your relationships? Why is it so important to your health? And there's really 2 key reasons. And again, the foundation is your energy is your choice, even though many people don't think of it that way. Many people think of their energy kind of like they think of the weather. It's sure hope the weather's great for our family outing. And sometimes we kind of think about our energy that way. I hope I have enough energy to make it through this crazy day. Hope I have enough energy to get through this ridiculously busy week. But our energy is a choice, and that's a controllable. And the reason it's so important, 2 reasons. First reason is all about what I call the WOO,
which is called the woo, which incidentally, really fun to say. The woo. The woo is the window of opportunity. The woo is the window of opportunity, which is, I want to suggest, is every precious moment. And what I mean by that is, you never know if the next person you'll meet today, if that person might become a lifelong friend, as you didn't know it when you met your lifelong friend. You never know if the next time you talk to your flatmate, your teammate, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your spouse, your customer, if the next thing you say in the next conversation may be so on target for what they didn't see with their own eyes, but you saw it, and then you said it. And when you said it, you seized that window of opportunity, that woo. And because of something you said, somebody's life got better. You never know. And so the first reason why energy is so crucial is energy puts you in a position to seize more woos. Have you ever noticed when you have energy, how much more alert you are to possibility? When you have energy, adversity doesn't seem quite as adverse. So the first reason why energy is so important is it puts you in that position to be available, alert to those windows of opportunity that are almost always around us. The second reason why energy is so important, and this is probably the most important reason, to your children, no matter no matter their age, no matter how long as you draw breath, to your boss, to your customers, to your teammates, to anyone who you really care about having a relationship with, your energy is your example. Your energy is your example. People won't remember that much of what you say, no matter how well you say it. And they'll never forget your energy. They get your energy before you've opened your mouth. They get your energy after you've closed your mouth. They get your energy over the phone. They haven't even seen your face. They get your energy the way they send emails. To me, email stands for energy mail, not electronic mail. So to everyone we touch, our energy is our example. So I like to help people go on what I call an ETP to begin to seize the woo and choose a different level of energy. An ETP, Sam, is an energy transformation program. It's a way to work on your energy in a practical, not hugely time-consuming way to elevate your consistent energy. On your ETP, Energy Transformation Program, you do that for 30 days. You move from 6.5 to 7.3 to 8.2 to 9.5, and your work, your health, your relationships, your joy will rise with it. So that's how you energize and engage yourself. And again, energy is contagious. And as you rise on that scale, the people that matter to you will rise with you.
Wow. Thanks. That was super cool. I'm feeling like I need to jump up and down right now. I'm like, yes, energy. Also, yeah. I just did a run, but I'm like, I'm going to go for another run right now. It's great. Yeah, pumped. Nice. Thanks for that. I was going to buy a standing desk, but I didn't, which I was super annoyed about. And I'm not very happy about my amount of time sitting down. But I've got like a station that kind of rises, so I'm trying to do more standing. And for as many of my meetings as possible, I'm trying to take where I'm walking and stuff at the moment, just to like.
Absolutely. I encourage people, we get into the cellular crunch and we stay on our phones for a long time in this bent down position. I really encourage people, never spend more than 10 or 15 minutes without getting up, moving your arms and legs, taking a couple of rich breaths, opening your eyes wider, smiling even if you don't feel like smiling, just changing your physiology rapidly and dramatically for 10 seconds. And suddenly you'll feel at least a 1-point rise on that 10-point scale. That's how powerful a shift in movement can be. When I was writing my books, I've written 15 books. Probably the most important tactic I used in writing my books was running. When I ran, I got the newest ideas. Now, I never tried to do that, but I was physically moving and ideas would pop into my head out of seemingly nowhere. Think about, Sam, how many people get great ideas in the shower. And why? Yeah. Because they're moving. They're moving that soap around. They're moving their arms and legs. And we get these great ideas. Energy is directly proportional to your level of movement. So you want to move your life, move yourself.
Yeah, nice. I would say within reason that I have done some like really long runs and then spent the rest of the year after the just completely pooped and was like, probably shouldn't try and do like I think 30 kilometers.
And there's a time for rest.
Yeah.
There's definitely a time for rest and a time to just let the world go for a little while. That's part of energy as well.
Oh yeah,
but that's also
sleeping,
a choice.
Very important. Yeah,
very important.
I think David Goggins talks about sort of the importance of rest and taking it, but not resting when he hasn't scheduled it. So it's like, okay, if I'm going to do like, I plan my week of workouts, I'm going to do them. And if like one morning I'm feeling tired, but it's not my day to rest, I don't rest. I just have to like bring my energy and stuff, and just having that mental resilience to really just like force it, I think is quite good. Whereas otherwise you can kind of get in the cycle of, I don't quite feel like it today and stuff. And I think energy comes kind of in the same way as you spoke about. You focus on what you want to create in the vision. And like when I was running, I was training for an ultramarathon. I started doing 15 kilometers a week 15 kilometers a day. For weeks, and like the first few weeks it was really hard. I was like, oh my god, I never got the energy. But like within 3 weeks I would just do 15 kilometers. I'd get back, I still want to carry on running. I was like, I don't finish it, but way more in the tank. And that's the point where I was able to do like ultramarathons then. And when you kind of focus on like the success part, like you'll get there. So yeah, I really like that. And I'm really interested to like analyze my own energy scale and try and do that, because I noticed such a difference of like the meetings that I turn up to where I'm like, boom, yeah guys, we're going to do so much, it's going to be awesome, and everyone like leaves and they're super happy, and other days where I'm a bit tired, I'm like, yeah, so we could do this with the company today, and does everyone know what's going on with that thing? Right, well, whatever. Like, yeah, it's not good. Like, that's a bad day. It kicks everyone off wrong, and yeah, and then there's some people like don't remember that much of what you say. I mean, I'm making a lot of notes right now, but I'm still just going to remember that you had good energy, really. And I have to look at your notes whenever I actually want to tell anyone specific of what you told me. But it's, well, maybe I think I'll probably remember from the stories. But yeah, energy is just so important for how you're around people. And I think also relates into kindness and stuff as well. I think being kind really gives you more energy. And like you've written a whole book about return investment of kindness.
It truly does. My most recent book is called The ROI of Kindness, and I wrote it because I feel like never in my life have I been more passionate in the belief that we need to start to be kind to one another again. That there's more separation than I've seen in my lifetime, and it's a pretty long lifetime so far. And so I wanted to write a book that not only identified, we all want kindness in our life. We want to be kind. We want to be treated with kindness. But I wanted to write a book that pointed out that kindness is not just a nice thing, but that kindness works. Kindness works on a business level. Organizations that create what I call a KVP, a kindness value proposition, have incredibly lower turnover, are incredibly more profitable, and are every single time more highly thought of by their customers. They have higher ratings. The companies that you admire have built kindness into their culture. And the book has a lot of research about organizations that get this and how differentiated they are because they built a kindness culture. And the other thing I wanted to do in the book, and it's a short, fun little book, was I wanted to help people understand that a little bit more of how you deliver kindness in the most important ways. Because it's one thing to say, hey, I want to be kind, but how do you do that? How do you actually do that? Because kindness matters the most in some of the tougher situations to be kind. It's easy to be kind to kind people. Definitely. But how kind are you when people are not kind back? How are you when people are scared or hurt or there's misunderstandings? How kind are you when you disagree? Can you disagree without being disagreeable? So I talk about the decision we all can make in our businesses and our lives to be what I call a CKO, which is a Chief Kindness Officer. And it's a choice. You can move right into that corner office right away. And I talk about 7 habits of highly effective CKOs. And they're just ways to deliver kindness in ways that really, really cannot be shaken, that really work. So here's a great question. How does it make you feel when someone you really wish to be present with you is not present with you? How does it make you feel when somebody you want to connect with is obviously more interested in looking at their cell phone than they are at really connecting. Well, for some people, it makes them angry. For others, it just makes them sad. But for every person I've ever known, even the most confident people, if there's somebody we want to be present with us and they're not, it makes us feel worth less. It makes us feel insignificant and unimportant. It's the ultimate unkindness. Because I believe that our role as breakthrough leaders, our job, our opportunity, our responsibility, what the whole thing is about, our job is to help people know they're important. The people that we love, the people that we serve, the people that we care about, to know they're important. When people feel important, they rise in spirit. And when people feel unimportant, insignificant, they fall away, they want to leave, they give up, they become lost. And so the ultimate and foundational way to help people know they're important is that gift, simply being fully present. And I want to give you one really powerful example, because it doesn't do any good to have this idea in your head. It's got to be in your heart. The greatest gift of my life was given to me by two of my greatest teachers, my daughters Kelsey and Jenna, when they were 8 and 3 years old. And when they were 8 and 3, I had been teaching this stuff for a long time, but there's a big difference between knowing what to do and doing what you know.
Congratulations on listening to a whole episode of the Growth Mindset Podcast by contacting us through the website growthmindsetpodcast.com, and feel free to connect with us or our guests, and you'll make me very happy. Keep learning and keep growing.